I came across the upper crust. I used to work in event planning actually, and so I'm very, just in researching things, I'm very thorough, and I literally, I had a list and I called a bunch of places and nothing was really grooving. I knew I wanted kind of a small boutique, type of company, and I actually came across Dan on the web, and there was something about the website that seemed professional to me. I just immediately knew that maybe this was the one. So I came in, and I can't remember if I met with Dan by myself or if I met with him with my parents the first time. I can't remember. But that was kind of it. I was kind of sold right then. We didn't know where we were getting married at first. We wanted to try and do it in the West Village.
Back then, it wasn't even like we didn't say, oh, this is what we're going to do. Let's go do this. She really came in here, and the first thing we were doing was just looking at all the options, and before he even sort of formally put together a whole wedding, he was really just sort of showing us stuff, and it was really just sort of you and Dan just kind of planning the wedding.
Well, because we didn't really have a concrete idea of what we wanted to necessarily do. We were going back and forth between what size we wanted it to be, and we at the time were living in the West Village. We loved the West Village, but it kind of dawned on us halfway through we didn't really want a cityscape for a wedding. We both love the country. We were out in Connecticut at my parents' place, and we kind of remember we took a walk from the lower lawn to the upper lawn, and it was actually you were the one who was like, maybe we can make it work, because I originally said I'd love to get married. I love my parents' home, and ideally I'd love a country wedding, but I never thought my parents' home would work. And then you were the one who said, well, it might be able to, and we came back to Dan, and then...
Well, when Dan went out and looked at the upper lawn,
he was like, done.
He said, you guys don't realize, he said, it's all crowded in by trees and stuff. He said, but you have an acre of completely flat land. And we were like, oh, okay, so what does that mean? He said, you have everything you need right here.
Yeah. Dan came in, and he just started to lay out, everything we could do. Cocktails on the lower lawn.
Yeah.
Then we walked through a lit up path. It was very pretty, with lanterns to the upper lawn, which was this huge space. So we really could just design what we wanted. And Dan and I just started talking, and completely on the same page. It was very pretty. People to this day have said that our wedding is one of the best weddings they've ever been to, if not the best. Really, it was fun. It was an incredible wedding. It was beautiful, beautiful. It was raining cats and dogs the night before, and there was some worry about how that was going to play out. And then the next morning, it was like the skies cleared, and it was beautiful, perfect sunny day, perfect September day, no humidity. It was very, very magical. And that's what I'm saying about Dan. When I first met him, I knew that he had just the vision that I needed help with, to help me kind of create this for our wedding. Because I'm very specific. I'm a very specific person, as Josh can.
She was an event planner, so she saw all the pitfalls.
There's a lot of things I don't like, and I'm very perfectionist, and Dan really helped me with that. So, but I'm not an event planner like Dan. I needed help, and he just knew how to bring everything into fruition.
Food was one of the most important things that we wanted. I mean, as I said, before we started having children and babies, we lived here in the West Village.
We went to every restaurant.
We were typical Americans in that we, obtained massive credit card debt on food. Okay? There's no house or mortgage. Our credit card debt was food.
was
The
excellent.
food at the wedding was unbelievable, and actually,
And people came up to us afterwards to
people
tell
came
us
up
too.
to us afterwards to say that was really quite amazing. We specifically met with Jim. I mean, we had a food tasting here and tasted everything. I mean, it was great working with Jim.
Oh my, the staff at the wedding, people could not get over because what, I'm sure you know, what they did, I don't know if they do this at every wedding that Dan does, but instead of having numbers on the tables, they would hold up a sign, and people love that because it's so different. And then I had a friend come up to me afterwards who said, Corey, the staff, she said, when I got back from our honeymoon, she said, my glass would be a quarter empty, and next thing I knew, someone was there. She was like, how many staff did you have at your wedding?
Yeah.
They were on it. They were
they did a
totally
really good
on
job.
it. So, and they couldn't have been nicer too. So, yeah, and it was definitely, you know, as we've said, I'm from Connecticut. My parents have very, you know, high maintenance friends. They're very social, my parents. They're on the party circuit 24/7. They know how to throw a good party. They go to good parties. So it was a very, you know, kind of
was a big
critical
success.
crowd, and so
I like that.
yeah, everything was very smooth, very smooth.